Hello and welcome to another daily market update by Market Intel. Today we want to take a look at a stock that I think we haven't taken a look at in a very, very long time. It's the McDonald's stock. Everybody knows McDonald's and we want to take a look at the chart. We want to understand whether a major top has already formed or do we see some long trade opportunities. I think, as I said, everybody knows this stock and it could be interesting. So let's go. Yeah, so we are on our website, dailymarketupdate.com. If you're here usually for our cryptocurrency updates, then you might not actually know that we also cover a lot of US stocks. And yeah, especially McDonald's could be interesting right now, and I will explain to you why. I'd say we'll take a look at the larger time frame, then we'll take a look at the smaller time frame. You can get access to all of these updates completely for free if you register. Now you can find a link in the description to our website here, and you can see we cover a lot of different stocks as well. IBM, Warner Brothers Discovery, a lot of interesting stocks every single day. Starbucks recently, Apple, and so on. So we don't want to spend too much time talking about that. Let's take a look at the overall chart. I mean, it's been a while that I've covered McDonald's, but I remember we talked about this ending diagonal to the upside that is currently unfolding, because the current thesis is that this year is from this larger degree fourth wave low that formed at $230 in 2022, that we're moving up now in this kind of diagonal pattern. These are typically very, very choppy structures. As you can see, the preferred interpretation with a likelihood of, we assign it 69%, we should still see the market go higher overall, as long as it respects these trend lines. What we normally don't want to see in these patterns is that the trend lines break. If we're dealing with diagonal patterns, these are quite important. So it would be ideal if the market could hold the trend channel, this kind of wedge pattern. We're now likely moving up in a third wave still, probably in the C wave of wave 3. That's as best we can tell, especially as long as this B wave low is holding in magenta. Now, it is important to understand once we break below that level, that B wave low, and we'll see the levels that are relevant on the smaller time frame, then it becomes more and more probable, or it will become more and more probable, that this larger degree correction is already unfolding. I think it must become clear here in the analysis that we believe that we are very, very close to a major top, but there could still be, possibly for the next few months or so, maybe even the next year, some further upside. As you can see here, market should go higher. The market, that was the projection in the last few updates as well. The market has gone higher. The question is just, we're getting obviously closer and closer, and when do we form a top? As per the wave counts, we should still see a little further upside in wave C of 3, then another higher low in 4, and a higher high in 5 to complete a proper 5-wave move up in this diagonal pattern. Now let's take a look at the smaller time frame, which is here the 3-hour time frame chart. And here I promised you'll see the structures, and the levels in more detail. So important here is that this, what I mentioned, B wave low, needs to hold to keep the overall direct upside expectations alive. There is a 1-2 setup we could identify and track. Not super high confidence, so we're not adding a trading area here. However, if you want to trade it, the invalidation point is $276. Below that level, this is not a valid 1-2 setup anymore. Not all structures are always super high confidence. Not all are always 5-star setups. This one isn't. That's why we're not adding a trading area here. It is important to understand, though, that we still see it as preferred interpretation at the moment, that this is a wave 1 of a C wave to the upside. So the B wave low should hold. If it doesn't, then assumption is first that the B wave is still unfolding, okay? So we would first not assume yet that a major top is formed. We would still see it as part of that uptrend, but just a deeper pullback in that uptrend. Quick reminder, idea would be that this B wave is then still unfolding. What wouldn't be so great is that the trend lines will change, but that wouldn't be a disaster. It's not very well defined at this point anyway. But $276 is the level that matters really in the short term. With a 36% likelihood, we see the price go lower, but that's not preferred. Therefore, 64% likelihood that this is a 1-2 setup, and we will pay very close attention to that $276 level. Important is also that we break above this wave 1 high. That would signal further upside continuation in wave C of 3. And as you can see on the larger time frame, I mean, it might take us closer to $400, this entire diagonal pattern, but please note that diagonal patterns, they are typically difficult to trade. Maybe on the smaller time frame, we see further upside impulses. And if a third wave unfolds, it should be quite an aggressive trend. That's typically what third waves are. So that should give you a good idea of where we stand on the McDonald's chart. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you're interested to learn more about different structures, stocks, tech stocks, cryptocurrencies, then yeah, register on our website. If you don't want to miss any future updates, make sure that you subscribe to this channel, but activate the notification bell. Let me know in the comments which other cryptos or stocks you want me to cover going forward. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.